Welcome to It's Not About the Hair online series. My name is Valerie Fuentes. I am your host, and today I am with Danielle and Fari. They're joining us from Canada, and I'm so excited to have them both here. I've been following them for a while. Fari, I have to tell you, I just absolutely love all your videos. And then when I learned that you were behind the scenes creating something with Danielle, I knew I had to have you both because I need to learn how did you create this fabulous wig you're wearing and what goes behind the scenes in the process, because we have no idea, right? We just, we see it, we love it, we buy it, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So thank you ladies for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So I would love to get to know you better first for, somebody that has just starting to meet you. So Fari, let's start with you. What brought you to start wearing wigs?
Okay, well, I started wearing wigs about 2 years ago. I suffer from hyperthyroidism and in between thyroidism and Hashimoto disease, which causes your hair to essentially fall out and thin out. And I used to have a lot of hair. If you look back through my Instagram pictures, you'll see I had a lot of thick, long hair. So this started in 2019. And like everyone else, I tried alternative hair like clip-in extensions and, halos and just those type of alternative hair solutions. But I realized it didn't work well for me because of the texture difference. My hair was on the coarser side. I mean, with thyroidism, it's not really tameable. And I just couldn't blend in my bio hair with the Remy type extension hairs. So I started to, look into wigs, and I, looked into Instagram for some support, and I reached out to a few ladies out there, and they were super helpful. And that's how it all began.
Wow. How about you, Danielle? When did you start wearing hair and why?
So it's been about a year and a half for myself. And as I mentioned in my bio, I was an extension wearer for probably about 5 or 6 years. So I always wanted that long, thick hair. My natural hair texture was super fine to begin with. So I would just never would have had that long, thick hair. And then over the last couple of years, I've just noticed that my hair on top was getting thinner and it just wasn't matching the thickness of the extensions anymore. So again, like Fari said, I started looking online. I found some people, it started with toppers for me, some people that were showing what toppers were. And I was super interested in that because all of a sudden that would solve the problem of the thinner top. And then just natural progression from going from toppers into wigs. It was just, I found wigs were much easier for me because I didn't have to worry about the blending. And because my hair was so fine on top anyway, blending was just very difficult. So as soon as I started wearing wigs, I just felt like myself.
Love it. And at what point did you decide, okay, I would love to be the creative mind behind this? I'm actually going to make them. When did that happen?
Well, it was hard for me to find exactly what I was looking for because I was always very much into the balayage look where you have the root melts and the lighter ends. That was just very hard to find in a stock piece. So I just started doing some research, and through that research decided if I can't find it, I'm going to create it. And then from that, Bijoux was born.
Beautiful. And I know you're both in Canada. So how did you guys connect through Instagram as well? Or how did you know each other? Okay.
I think the first time that I reached out to Fari, she had posted this beautiful wig that she had. And I was like, okay, I need to find out more about her. She just was it was just such a beautiful look. And then I reached out and then we just started talking back and forth since then, everything from cooking to food to hair. So it was just a really, really easy connection for me.
I love that. So before we dive into the creation of the actual wig, I want to ask you guys about your experience with hair and your experience being part of the hair loss community, right? That's the reason why we're all here is to serve the community. So what has been your experience being part of the community? When did you enter the community? When did you find out that there was that community, right? Because I lost my hair when I was 18, and my wish is that this was the community we have right now existed back then. And that's the reason why I do this event and I create everything I do, because I did not have that. I never had that. So at what point did you find out that there was a community, that we were all going through this, that we were so tied? What was your experience like?
Yeah. I'll start, I guess. For me, it was just a general search. I started searching on Instagram about wigs, different types of wigs, and just experimenting. I remember my first wig was a synthetic wig, and it was off of this, website that I found. And, I realized that, oh my gosh, it looks really wiggy. Like, can I pull this off? Like, if I go outside, will anyone notice that I'm wearing a wig? And my partner was super supportive of the idea, because it's all about self-esteem. And I think with this community is helping each other gain that self-esteem that you kind of lose with losing hair. And I was just at a point where, oh my gosh, my self-esteem is just like, will anyone notice my own bio hair? And like, how do I hide it? Or how do I work with it? And alternative hair was a solution. And as you guys know, I'm an avid of synthetic hair. I mean, hair cube wigs, I found them through Amazon. They became viral. And we started with that line last year. I found them accidentally through another hair sister last year through Amazon. And she said, you know what? I don't have the courage that you do to post about wigs, but you should talk about this hair cube wig. It's amazing. And she's also in Toronto. I'm just not going to name her because we'll keep that anonymous. And I started to just wear it and then just start talking about it. And I realized, oh my gosh, I can pull this off. Like, this synthetic wig is really good. But again, it didn't have that feel of real human hair. And like Danielle said, you want to have that connection back to what your bio hair was. And I really wanted something that would make me feel like myself. And then so I started to search for obviously more human hair wig makers and artists out there that specialize in, the type of wig that I was looking for. So I do have both, and I do enjoy both of them.
Got it. And so what prompted you to start sharing your story on Instagram?
What prompted me to share my story was about just the confidence in self. A lot of people message me saying, wow, your profile is just amazing. You show who you are without a wig, and then you're comfortable showing your different sides of wearing all these different colors and hair options. You're not afraid to really talk about it. And I know that in our community, there's a lot of women who suffer from, different types of hair loss, but there wasn't a lot of people talking about like thyroid related issues, like thyroidism, and the results of having a hyperthyroid or hypothyroidism and how that affects your hair loss. And so I was able to connect with a lot of ladies that way. And I think it has been so positive, and I'm super humbled by the whole experience and being able to share my experience with everyone, because it just, makes me feel that much better knowing that I'm helping someone else. And that's genuinely the reason why I did what I did, just to uplift people and give them the confidence that they need, that it's okay to wear alternative hair.
Oh, and you're doing a great job, Fari. I have to share with you. I mean, I've shared with you via DMs, but to everyone, if any of you are doubting, do I get a hair cube? Is that, what is it going to look like? All these things. I had those thoughts because I went from a hair system to a human hair topper. Now I'm trying on wigs because the weather, I live in Miami, so the weather allows for wigs, but before it didn't. For Christmas, I got a $50 Amazon gift card. And I didn't know what to get. And by watching you with your hair cubes, I said, you know what, I have to try this. And I got 3 of them. And I used the 3 of them. You inspired me to actually try something that never in a million years, that wasn't going to, because I thought, it's too cheap, that this is too good to be true. There is no way that something this cheap is going to look good. And obviously it's not going to look like a human hair wig. Like, we have to be realistic. But it doesn't look bad. And what worked really well for me is like the result of trying the hair cube wigs is this, right? Mm-hmm. So my hair is really dark, and I would have never spent, an investment on a human hair wig or even a synthetic that it was, mid-price on this color, because I didn't know it looked good on me. So I got my hair cube wigs that were blonde and I liked them. And here we are, right? So if there is something, a new style you want to try, you know, a different color, color, style, anything, get a hair cube wig before you get a really expensive one. Try it out. And honestly, I think this is a really great stepping stone if you're just, you know, new to this world. So
you nailed it, because a lot of people say, how do you know which wig to choose, what color and tones? I always tell them, start off with the synthetics. I mean, they're pretty good nowadays. I mean, they weren't that great, I would say 3-4 years ago, but now they're, you know, technology is changing. They're doing a really good job. And I was able to use one hair cube wig to work with Danielle and say, listen, I want this tone because it seems to look good on my skin tone. And she's like, yeah, we can definitely work together to achieve that. So that was like the beginning of this whole, you know, customization as well.
I love that. That's actually my thought process was, because I'm gonna send my hair, my human hair toppers to a stylist because they're getting kind of old and orangey. So I love my hair cube wig. So I'm gonna send them the hair cube wig and the topper and be like, this is what I want. So great. Awesome, Danielle. So I want to hear from you too. At what point, okay, so we already know how Bijoux Wigs was born, but at what point did you decide to start sharing on Instagram? And pretty much you're selling through Instagram, right? Because that's how you're posting what's available.
So I think for me, it's a bit of a two-pronged approach, because obviously there's the business side of it, which is Bijoux, but I'm also super passionate about being part of the community. And really my only regret is that I hadn't found this community years ago, because I feel it would have saved me so much stress and worry, because you really always think you're the only person going through something until you connect with others that are going through the same experience. So just being able to connect with this community, everybody was so friendly and so welcoming, and it was just an instant connection with so many people. So I felt very, very blessed for that. And that was just a starting point for me. I'm very open about wearing wigs. Everybody in my life knows that I wear alternative hair. I've very much started. I have a pink wig that I just started wearing as well. I started wearing it on Valentine's Day. And it's just, I don't know, I really am passionate about normalizing that whole, it's okay to wear a wig, and it shouldn't be a 4-letter word anymore. We should be accepting of it. There's so many great styles you can do, and you can get your dream hair too. It's such a positive experience if you let it be.
I love that. So, Fari, you were about to tell us how you guys connected. So what happened? So you connected with Danielle. You reached out to her?
Yeah. So, you know, it's difficult to find a really good wig stylist, wig maker in Canada. I know there's, you know, up and coming, there's a lot of people out there right now, maybe I'm not really sure of, but it was really hard to find that, you know, that specific type of hairstyle, color, wig that you're looking for. And for me, the balayage look, the, you know, ombre look was what I wanted. And Danielle was like just amazing with her collection. Like that's what she was doing. And so I approached her, and she's in Canada. And for Canadians, purchasing wigs outside of the US can be a little bit difficult. And I mean, not only is the price conversion really expensive for us, but also the cost of duties, the shipping, it all starts adding up. You're almost spending like maybe $500, $600 Canadian just on the duties and shipping itself.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, so it was really nice to connect with a fellow Canadian that understood that and said, listen, we can work together. I can create any wig that you want. And that's how it all began. And I'm really fortunate for that.
Awesome. So Danielle, can you share a little bit about the process? So Fari reached out to you, and then what questions do you ask? Like, what do you need to know? What happens after that?
So I know that we initially bonded over our love of curtain bangs because Fari was one person who really can rock that look so well. And I wanted to be able to bring that type of look into the collection. So it was perfect that way. I remember very clearly I was visiting my parents in Vancouver and I was on Instagram, and Fari and I had been talking just back and forth on Messenger for a couple of days. And then she said, would you be up to creating this look? And I jumped at the opportunity because it was just exactly the look that I was going for. So it was just a very natural connection. It has to do a lot with sharing pictures. I think we spent probably a couple months sending inspiration photos back and forth, discussing colors, just having a really clear idea. And because she already knew what she wanted, it made the process very easy. We weren't looking at 5 different looks. We narrowed down from all the looks into a very clear image. And I think that that's very helpful if you have a clear idea of what you want, what kind of color, what kind of style. And if you're not sure about it, it's just working through that process of making those decisions, ticking off those boxes and getting a very concrete idea so that it can be produced.
And just so we know the details of the actual piece, this is a human hair wig?
Yes, it's Slavic hair.
Okay.
It's a lower,
like the cap construction and all those details.
Do you want me to speak on that, Fari?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this one is a lace front with the wefted back. The density on Fari's is, I'd say, between 130 and 140%. And the length on that one is 24 inches. And we went for Slavic hair just because it's a really nice texture. That's what I'm wearing as well. It just has a finer hair shaft. And I find that it deals with color really, really nicely. And yes, I love every time I see it on you, Fari, I just love it so much.
It's gorgeous.
I know.
Go ahead.
Sorry, no, go. It's the most natural density, I would say, because it's still, it has density, but it's lightweight. It's something that you can, wear every single day. You're running errands or whatever the case may be. It's just easy to wear a lightweight wig. And they're in the community. We've been talking a lot about how wigs can actually have a heavy feel, and then you start getting headaches and it's just uncomfortable. What we were trying to achieve, Danielle and I, was a wig that is your go-to wig when you're running errands, easy to style. I mean, I did not even style this. I just did a quick blow dry and that's it. I mean, it just holds the curls and waves naturally because it's Slavic hair, and it's just easy to maintain. That's what everybody wants, like an easy, hairstyle that is very attainable, easy to attain.
It is gorgeous. And Danielle, you mentioned something that I'm not super familiar with. You said density. So what's it, what are we looking for in density? What's the difference of 120 to something else?
Mm-hmm. So I find what I have found is a lot of my customers want that lightweight natural density. So I typically work in the 130 range, which is what I'm wearing right now. It feels not heavy. And I know that for myself, I always used to, when I was coming home from work, I would rip my wig off and put it on the seat next to me in the car. And I find that now that I'm wearing the lighter weight ones, I keep it on until I'm ready to wash my face at night. So it's just, you want something that doesn't feel like you're wearing it. You want to forget about it. You just want to put it on, set it, and forget it. So I think that the density has a lot to do with that, because if you get into, and some people like the higher density, and I can produce that as well, but I find that if you get too high of a density, it's a lot of hair. It could almost look like it's wearing you if that's not your look. So I find that generally people are asking for that very natural, I want it to look like it's growing out of my head density.
And it's speaking of that, how we want to look and feel. I want to ask you both, how do you feel now about wearing wigs? Because for me, it wasn't easy at the beginning. Obviously, right now, I love it. But back in the day, I felt self-conscious. I thought people were looking at me. Where are you guys at when it comes to your mindset and how you feel about wearing hair? Either one of you can go. Yeah.
Fari, I'll let you go first.
Okay, thank you. For me, again, with this community, it's just humbling to have the support, having women encourage each other and just support each other on, the decision-making process of wearing alternative hair. It's amazing to kind of connect with these women who are also going through the same thing as you are, and just normalizing it. I mean, as my profile says, I just want to break that taboo, that barrier between hair loss and wearing wigs, because right now you have celebrities wearing wigs. They don't want to, ruin their hair, bio hairs, by dyeing it. They change hair colors all the time. They're constantly wearing wigs, but we don't know that. But now that we're kind of normalizing things, you kind of see it now on Instagram, right? You see them wearing wigs and they're normalizing it too, because it's okay to do that. Yeah. And that acceptance on its own creates that normalcy that we all need to be able to comfortably wear wigs and not be scrutinized or be criticized of it.
Mm-hmm. Danielle, where are you at with wearing hair? How do you feel about it?
I wish I had done it so long ago. I feel this is really the hair that I always wanted, and I really feel like myself in it. It's great to have the option to not just have one hairstyle that you have to wear all the time. I have another wig that I have that has a fringe bang on it, and I love that as well. And it can be fun once you get past the worry of wearing a wig. And I think that's just what Fari was speaking to as well, being really open with people and having those open communications. I have lots of people that I talk to that aren't even Bijoux customers, but they want an opinion on something, or I have one girl that I'm talking to she has a special order wig that she ordered a couple months ago, and she FaceTimed me the other day. She's like, I just need your opinion on how to cut the space framing layer, or I'll have people ask me about cutting the lace. And I like that, because it's not, like I said, obviously Bijoux is one side of it, but I love being able to be part of that whole process with somebody, getting their first wig or being excited about it or feeling like this huge sense of relief. That's very encouraging to me as well, just as somebody who wears wigs.
Danielle, and I do want to ask you about that. So if I want a custom wig, how long does it take?
I would say it usually takes a few months, just depends on the hair length. So for Fari's, it took a little bit longer just because we wanted to get that 24-inch length. And of course, 24-inch hair is not necessarily the easiest hair length to get. But as long as people are okay with waiting for that timeline, once they get it, it's worth the wait, because you're getting exactly what you want.
Oh my God. Yes. I will wait for that hair. So if I want to purchase Fari's wig, is it available right now? Do we have a little bit of a wait? How can we get it?
So it is available on the Bijoux website right now, and it's also on Silk or Lace's website as well too. And there's 2 cap styles that are available, and there's 3 lengths. So people can just special order what they want. I've put on the website that it's a 2 to 2.5 month wait, but most people have just been fine. I find that with custom orders, people know that there's going to be a wait time anyway. So if they have to wait a couple months to get that perfect hair, it goes by fast.
We'll wait. Anything for the hair. Okay, awesome, ladies. I would love to know what's next for you. But this question is probably twofold, because I don't want to, I want to know both. I want to know, like, as far as projects, things that are coming up, what's next for you, and also what's next for you in your personal life, and personal level, if it is like becoming more confident, like any goals you have for 2021.
Well, for me, being in medical distribution side of things, I'm in healthcare. Not a lot of people know that I wear wigs. So I'm on Zoom call meetings every single day, and I pretty much try to stay consistent with the hair tone. If it's a brown, I try to keep it brown. During springtime, I transition to like the lighter tones. And, you have your colleagues kind of ask you, oh, hey, your hair looks different today, or you used to have bangs, and how did they grow out so quickly? And you just kind of like laugh it off and just kind of say, you know what? I don't know. I think it's COVID. I think it's like, just changing your hair color, your tone, and just kind of letting them know that it's okay to change your hairstyle. They don't necessarily need to know that you're wearing alternative hair. I don't think everyone in my life knows that. Just my close friends and family would know this information, and a few friends here and there. but I don't think I, would necessarily just go out there and talk about it through, patients and colleagues necessarily, unless they ask me. And if I feel comfortable, I will definitely share it. But in terms of like next steps with Instagram and what I'm doing, I'm just going to continue doing what I do and just be honest and open about the hair loss and the alternative options that are out there, share my own personal experiences and some of the struggles that I've had with wigs. Not all wigs come perfect, like Bijoux and Danielle's products. Like they don't come in this perfect packaging. I've received some wigs that were, terrible, and I've paid probably upwards of like $1,500 to $2,000, but they were not as what they were described. So it is that experience that you have to go through. And I want to prevent that from happening to new wig wearers. I want to make sure that I share content and information that is truthful and real, and just put the community in a nice, safe place so that, there aren't too many discrepancies in terms of like information, because I think that can get lost in translation as well. People have their own preference and opinions, or they get paid for certain, hair products that they use, or wig makers, they get collaborations where they get paid for. I've personally never had that. And I feel like if I'm going to share my own experience, especially with a wig, that it's something that I've purchased, and I want to make sure that people know that information too, and share in that same journey, that it's just, easy. You can have customizable wigs if you want to. It's just approaching the right wig maker. So that's basically what I do in my content on Instagram.
Awesome. I love that. And I didn't know you were in healthcare, so that's great. And I totally agree with you that we don't have to share, that we have hair loss with everyone. So if somebody gives you a compliment on your hair, it's totally cool to say thank you. That's it, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have to get into it with everyone. So I love that approach. Danielle, how about you? What's next for you?
Well, I'm going to try to expand a little bit what I am offering on the site. So I'm working on some new colorways right now. The Bijoux Blonde's been doing really well, but I want to do some darker looks as well. And just getting really more involved with the community as well. It's something that's I'm really passionate about it. I agree with you that not everybody needs to share that they're wearing a wig, and it's nice for people to know that they have that option. I personally feel, just because of the business that I'm in, that it makes sense to be really open about it for me, and just giving people that sense of comfort that if they need somebody to talk to about it, I'm available. Any questions? And I'm really trying to be very open with people, that they can feel free to direct message me. They can email me. It's not just a one-way relationship. It really needs to be an ongoing communication between two people. So that customer experience side of it is very, very important to me. And I want to keep on expanding on that too.
Oh my gosh. And your customer service is fabulous. I do know that from other people. Like, that's how I got to know you, actually, because I heard that your work was great, and it was literally word of mouth. So you're already doing a fantastic job on that. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Well, ladies, thank you so much. This is our day one of It's Not About the Hair. So we have 8 more days of fabulous guest speakers. We're going to have researchers, coaches, ladies that have lived with alopecia their whole life. There's so much to come. This is going to be your one-stop shop of, anything that you need when it comes to hair, mindset, community. All the things are coming for you this whole week. So make sure to tune in to all the interviews. We are going to have a replay, but you want to make sure you watch it live. Also, because there are great giveaways. There will be some giveaways with this interview. Just look at the instructions below this interview, and they're going to have the link and all the instructions. So yeah, make sure to tune in. Thank you, ladies. And thank you, everyone. I will see you on the next interview.
Thank you so much.